news. Big Brother is watching. There's a nationwide push to start tracking where children are during school hours. They would basically be microchipped, kind of like a pet. ABC4 News wanted to know what parents in Utah think about the possible tracking system. The night team's Kimberly Nelson joins us now live in Salt Lake City. Kimberly, what are they saying?
Well, they're not excited about it, and here's the deal. Students who play hooky cost school districts money. So to recoup some of that money, they're taking those drastic steps, as you just mentioned. But parents we spoke with are outraged about what this could mean for our future. You may use it to get into secure buildings. And it's already embedded into most of your credit cards, being scanned every time you swipe. The technology is known as Radio Frequency Identification System, and it's soon going to be used at some schools across the country to track students' whereabouts.
Excuse me? They want to microchip my children? Like I do with my dog and my cat?
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Basically, the way the elite are doing it is they condition you by they condition the population by generations. First they told us it was for the, if we lose our pets, put them in the pets. Then it got into, not too long ago, the, cell phones and debit cards. And now they are proposing to have it as a computer currency.
Ever since the beginning of time, people have been buying and selling and using whatever currency was available. But today's digital economy is changing faster than ever, and currency has to change too. It is. Introducing Mint Chip from the Royal Canadian Mint, the evolution of currency. Money, as we know it, is fine for today, but tomorrow is a different story. Imagine a whole new breed of transactions that are smaller, faster, and virtually everywhere. That's where Mint Chip comes in. Mint Chip is currency in a digital form. Using a chip, you securely load value onto a smartphone, USB device, computer, tablet, or cloud. Maybe even some future device that doesn't even exist yet. Now you're ready to go. It's so easy that even a child can use it, especially for their allowance. Mint Chip is better than cash, since you can use it online. And merchants will easily and cost-effectively be able to offer digital content in the form of small and extremely small online transactions. Things like buying a song, a news article, or a nifty glow-in-the-dark laser for your favorite online game character. All for a few pennies, virtual of course. Plus, no personal data is required or exchanged, whether you're buying a decaf latte, a Canadian history article for school, or paying back that $10 you borrowed last week. Mint Chip is harnessing some of North America's best brain power. We are changing the future. You can too. Mint Chip from the Royal Canadian Mint. The evolution of currency.
I want to get your thoughts on this before I let you go. What do you think the government might do to us if we all had a national ID card?
Well, they would monitor everything that we do. And surveillance, the lack of privacy, it's always for good purposes. Everything is for good, and they're going to get rid of illegal immigration. They're going to find the criminals, but they're also going to monitor every single person, every single thing they do. It's sort of this idea of why not have cameras every place on every street corner, because we'll catch the bad guy. Well, why don't they have cameras in our house in case there's child beating or wife beating? I mean, that's when one thing leads to another. You either believe in freedom or you don't. If you think you need supervision and surveillance constantly by your government, and right now, the degree of confidence and trust in our government is very, very low. To turn this additional tool over to the government, to me, should outrage the American people, and so far the people I hear from are outraged.
So interesting to listen to your thoughts on that. The meeting happens tomorrow at the White House. The White House has taken no position on it thus far, but...
This next story we have for you is kind of wild. You might call it microchip commitment. A young man by the name of Emil Grafstra and Jennifer Tomlin, they are dating, have total access to each other's homes, cars, and computers. And they have that access by way of matching electronic microchips that are implanted under their skin. They're joining us this morning to, well, to make you understand all of this, or to try to make me understand all of it. They're joining us from Vancouver, Canada, and I appreciate your being with us. Before we get to this, what this actual chip looks like, Emil, I want you to give me some demonstration. We have some videotape here of what you can do with this. For instance, I understand you can unlock your car door and open the door without ever putting a key in it.
Yeah, actually I can, just walk up to the car, present my hand to the sensor, which is just in the windshield of the car. It reads the chip ID and says, okay, this is Emil, and then unlocks the car and disarms the alarm.
And you can do the same thing with your front door?
Yeah, then I can come right in, and there's a little sensor on the door. I place my hand up next to it, it reads my ID and unlocks the deadbolt.
And you can also, I understand you folks are sitting in front of a computer, you can also turn on your computer this way?
Yeah, I can log in, so it authenticates me.
Okay. And what are the future applications of this? I mean, I presume it'll be able to do more things than just open your car door or your front door or log onto your computer.
The future of surveillance is hiding in plain sight at the Baja Beach Club in Rotterdam, Holland. This may look like a regular party, but it's no normal club. The Baja has an elite group of special VIPs who are different from other clients. They need no identification and no cash to buy drinks or food. To enter the club, all they have to do is offer up an arm to a scanner. And tonight, 21-year-old Ryoni Schutten will be joining the in crowd.
I just do it because it's more comfortable. They will bring you the drinks and food instead of you going to the bar to get it.
But before he can party, Ryoni has a doctor's appointment. He's getting an electronic chip implanted in his arm. It's called radio frequency identification. An RFID chip is a small device that transmits a radio signal that's read by a scanner. In 2003, the Attorney General of Mexico and some of his staff received RFID implants inside their bodies to allow them access to sensitive areas. While it's not yet commonplace, Ryoni's doctor has implanted nearly 100 chips.
At first I had some doubt, of course, because you are putting chips in healthy young people. But I think it's the future.
Each tiny chip has a number. A scanner connected to a database can instantly reveal who the person is and much more. Technically, there's no limit to the information the database can hold. And now, it's time to party. Although others have to pay cash at the entrance, when Ryoni arrives, his name and number instantly identify him as a VIP member of the club. He makes his way to the VIP deck and uses his implant to buy a drink. The Baja is a glimpse of a not-so-distant future. Already, some people have chips with critical health information. Some think that soon everyone will have a chip that will identify them and allow a new form of surveillance. Joe Von Galen manages the club and likes to keep an eye on everyone, especially his chipped VIPs.
I think that in 20 years it will be a normal thing. I think when you get born you get a chip and it will stay in your body for the rest of your life and you get all kind of information on it. So if you got a problem, you read the chip and then they know who you are.
Implanted ID chips may be just the beginning. Future chips could be coupled with GPS tracking technology, making it possible to locate anyone, anytime, anywhere. Parents parents and pet owners already using external GPS units to keep track of their loved ones. In the U.S., approximately 7,500 criminals are monitored by GPS. And these devices are only getting smaller. Although GPS implants aren't currently available, it might be only a matter of time before every criminal, perhaps even every citizen, has an ID chip. Once the stuff of science fiction, these surveillance technologies are becoming reality. But the more amazing they get, the more controversies they create. In the name of security, societies around the world are struggling to redraw the line between surveillance and privacy.
The bill before me will help law enforcement to identify, to dismantle, to disrupt, and to punish terrorists before they strike.
Just months after the 9/11 attacks, President Bush secretly ordered the government to listen in on some Americans' phone calls without getting warrants. Technically, snooping on communications is not difficult. Almost every phone call, fax, and email passes through a network of towers and satellites. This digital data can be intercepted with listening dishes or by using spy satellites. The U.S. alone has more than 30,000 eavesdroppers scattered around the world, working with at least 100 spy satellites. Every 3 minutes, they collect enough information to fill the Library of Congress. Governments tell us these technologies make us safer. But where is it all leading? More than ever, authorities say we need surveillance in a dangerous and wired world. Even 500,000 cameras couldn't stop the London bombings. New technologies like ID implants, iris scans, and facial recognition have the power to reveal anyone who has committed a crime or crossed a border illegally. But they also have the power to invade our privacy. In the future world of total surveillance, there may
He
be
also
nowhere
forced everyone,
to
small and
hide.
great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number. His number is 666.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go on.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. And, look, I look forward...
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
And so when we heard that some enterprising characters had managed to spy on the famous Skull and Bones Society, well, we couldn't resist. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
The videotape provides a grainy glimpse into what appear to be the initiation rituals of a secret society that's been around since 1832, whose members have gone on to be leaders of Wall Street and the White House, the Senate and the Supreme Court.
They're sort of trying to scare the initiates, make them, disorient them, frighten them.
New York Observer investigative reporter Ron Rosenbaum accompanied a team of Yale students who shot these pictures 9 days ago. Rosenbaum's curiosity about Skull and Bones was permanently piqued when, as a classmate of George W. Bush, he lived right next to the Tomb, the group's heavily fortified home. From their perch, Rosenbaum and his cohorts taped the Tomb's courtyard. What they captured, they say, was initiates, known as neophytes, being forced to kiss a skull, then members performing a mock killing. It may look like your average fraternity nonsense, but Rosenbaum says it's not.
Even though it may seem silly to us, it seems to mean something to them, and you can't argue with the success of Skull and Bones.
True. Famous alums include senators, John Kerry and John Chafee, to name two, cabinet secretaries, such as Averell Harriman, and 3 presidents, William Taft, George Bush, and George W. Bush, who's been reluctant to talk about Skull and Bones.
The opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.